Hey guys, welcome to the All Jacked Up podcast. I am your host, Dana Jenkins, and I am all jacked up in all kinds of good ways. Everything we talk about on this podcast is going to come from a place of us being all jacked up about Jesus. But more importantly, everyone on this podcast, whether it's me, your host, or someone we're interviewing, we're all jacked up and need Jesus. So if you're all jacked up, you're in the right place. Hey, what's up, my brothers and sisters? Yes, I think I told you at one podcast that I will not be singing, and that was a false statement. I'm going to sing a lot. Man, I am super pumped because tonight we have one of my favorite people of all time. And so let me introduce you to who my co-host is tonight. It is Mr. Bob Pinto. Yeah. So I actually call him Bobby. Let me tell you a little bit about Bobby. Bobby. There he is. Yeah, there he is. So Bob Pinto actually took a chance and hired me to come on staff with FCA Softball, which crazy, life-changing event. So cool. Bob is married to Dot Richardson, a former softball Olympian. So he has been in the softball world for a long, long time. And just one of my favorite human beings on earth.
Oh, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we've been talking about doing a podcast together, an episode, I guess, together for a long time. And we will actually have conversations. And at the end of that conversation, we both go,
this should be a show.
This should be a show.
Or a show. No question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob is one of my favorite people because I can call him and I don't even have to say hello when he picks up. I just start making kind of weird noises. Like,
this is true.
Hey, Bobby. And yeah, it is true, right?
It is true.
Yeah, I feel
very
like
annoying,
that's
very annoying at times. This is Pick on Dana Day. So
it is. I did not realize that. So if you guys are familiar with the movie Step Brothers with Will Ferrell, oh my gosh, one of my favorite movies of all time. But there's a really funny scene in that movie where they're going on job interviews. It's two stepbrothers, hence the title. It's two stepbrothers. They're going on job interviews together. And at one point they look at the guy that is interviewing them and they're like, we're going to interview you. And so the guy sitting behind the desk, he goes, okay, all right, that could be pretty effective. But they ask all of these incredibly inappropriate questions, which makes the whole thing really funny. So when we were talking about what should we talk about on this podcast, Bob said, well, I think the podcast should be me interviewing you. So here we go. Bob, it's all yours, brother.
I bet you everybody's dying to know about you.
They've probably already turned it off.
No, I don't think so. You're going to be a famous podcaster someday, and they're going to want to know.
Oh, that's kind of scary. Yeah, I'm famous to Macy and Abel. I'm definitely famous to them.
Do they know who that is?
I don't know. No, I've never talked to Macy and Abel are the best dogs on the planet. They're my dogs. Abel is an Aussie Doodle. Macy is a pretty overweight beagle, but she's precious.
So you're interviewing yourself. Go on.
No.
I haven't asked a question, and already we have answers.
Yeah.
Spectacular. So the first question. So just tell everybody, where were you born?
Oh, my gosh. Really?
Really? Go ahead.
DeKalb, Georgia. So nobody
You're
even
a bulldog?
knows. I am. If you grow up in Georgia, you are either a bulldog or a yellow jacket. And my entire family, we're all bulldogs. So, yeah, we don't really mess with the yellow jackets a whole lot.
DeKalb.
DeKalb, yes.
DeKalb, okay,
yeah.
Great. So you grew up there?
I actually grew up in Norcross, Georgia, which is about 25 minutes north of Atlanta.
All right. So what was little Dana like? Baby Dana.
Punk. Just a punk.
Your whole life? You were a punk coming out?
Oh, probably. I think me being a baby, my mom and grandmother used to say I was a good baby, so I don't really know what went wrong after that. But I will say this. They also dipped my pacifier in honey and just shoved it in my mouth. So there's that. So I was probably
That's
good
why
baby.
You're all jacked up. You were all jacked up as a baby. Fantastic.
From the beginning.
From sugar. That's wonderful. All right. So you were a punk.
Well, I was just, I was that kid that always felt like I had, to prove everybody wrong. I always had a chip on my shoulder. For what reason? I don't know, because I had a great life.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, why did you have a chip?
I don't know. I have great parents. I never went without. But I felt overlooked. I was always a small kid. And so I think, athletically, when people see the small person, you feel a little bit overlooked. And so it was kind of I was on a mission to prove everybody wrong. So a little chip on the shoulder, a punk in all the good ways. Can I say that? A punk in all the.
How is that?
In all the right. Okay, I have a theory. So obviously my sport is softball. I was a shortstop. I think, here's my theory. Every good shortstop has to have a little bit of a punk in them. They've got to have
Wait a minute. Are you going to tell Dot she had a little punk in her?
Dot you wouldn't call it punk with Dot. You would call it fire. But with a kid with a chip on their shoulder, you call him a punk. Okay. Right?
All right. Keep going. Did you look up to Dot? Did you know who she was?
Oh my goodness. Yes. I absolutely knew who she was. I looked up to her. The crazy thing is, I was number one all throughout my career. Obviously Dot was number one as well, but I got number one, not because I chose it originally, but because I was the smallest kid on the team. So they were like, here's an extra small jersey. Give it to that little punk over there.
You remember the days when team gave out jerseys 1 to 20 and that was it?
Absolutely.
Now today they have 67, 99. I think that's kind of silly, actually.
Once I see numbers like 99 and 67 and 53, those are football numbers. Those do not belong on the softball field. It's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, let's not get into this. We can go deep into that. Yeah. So you were a punk growing up. You played shortstop. Any other sports?
In high school, I played basketball and soccer. I was god awful at basketball. I mean, just terrible. The coach actually threw a chair at me one practice because I couldn't.
Wish I saw that.
It was bad. It was bad.
So what'd you do wrong that he threw a chair at you?
I didn't get it. Like, I just didn't get this. We were running plays and I was supposed to be in a certain place. I don't know.
You had a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
You were somewhere else, right?
Exactly. Nobody knew what ADHD was back in the day.
No.
I'm pretty sure I had it. I'm pretty sure I still have it.
The original. Dana's the original ADHD girl.
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Newsflash.
Oh my gosh.
So that doesn't warrant throwing a chair, but interestingly is you became a coach later. And
yes.
Were you influenced by that chair throwing at all?
I was I influenced?
Well,
if you're asking if I ever
little,
yeah, if
you
you're
were
asking,
a punk coaching too, weren't you?
I was. Mm-hmm. Definitely before I surrendered to Jesus. There was my coaching career. Literally has 2 parts: before surrender to Jesus and after surrender to Jesus. And I coached.
BC and AD.
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, getting into coaching, my biggest influence, it was not the basketball coach in high school. We didn't have a great relationship for many reasons.
I bet.
But my college softball coach, she was great, and I'm still in touch with her to this day, and just was a big influence. And I don't know, just had a lot of really good people in my life influencing me at that time. And honestly, when I got into coaching, I was really one of those people that stood back and was like, I'm getting paid to do this. This is nuts. This is the greatest job ever. So
when did you know you were going to be a softball player? Like, out of all the other sports?
Definitely from the very beginning. My parents, you know, like, gosh, I graduated high school in 1992. And so when I was, 7, 8 years old, my mom signed me up for Little League. And we ended up going to this park where eventually they had a 10U team, a 12U team, 14U team, so all of that. But all of it was fast pitch. And at this time, there was a ton of slow pitch stuff going on. So it was 100% a God thing that I ended up at a ballpark that did nothing but fast pitch. But I loved it. I loved getting dirty. I loved everything about the sport. It was one of those love at first sight.
So how old were you when you started playing softball?
I'm pretty sure I was 7.
7, little T-ball stuff?
Little T-ball, yeah. Well, it was, at that time, I think at 7 or 8, it was the first round of kids pitching to themselves, and I was actually a pitcher.
Good Lord. Did you ever just tackle anybody on the other team because you had a chip on? No,
okay. No.
I could see you doing that.
Remember, the chip on my shoulder, that ended up working out for good. It wasn't like I was I was planning everyone else's demise. All right, so
tell us about your recruiting experience. How you were recruited.
Oh my gosh! Well, I played on a travel team with a ton of really talented kids. And they were all getting recruited. There was an older coach, Bob Heck. I don't know if you remember him. You remember Bob Heck?
I don't remember Bob Heck.
He was the head softball coach at Georgia State, and he was recruiting basically our entire team. And my father at the time, he looked at me when everybody was going through the recruiting process, and he said, "Look, that's great. That's great that old Bob Heck wants you, but you're not going to go to school in the middle of downtown Atlanta." So. But I had a friend on the team. She invited me to a summer camp. And back at this time, the camp was actually at Furman University, but there was probably about 30 head coaches there from other schools. So I ended up, it was a God thing, because I had a really good week. And after that week, I had letters from 5 or 6 schools, and they were all school. I was just like, this is a dream. There's no way. This is nuts. I will tell you, I love a good story, but I will tell you this before your next question. So we're all sitting in the stands, me and all my buddies, and this is at Furman University, and they're giving awards at the end of camp. And so all of my friends are on, this kid gets, on the most athletic, blah, 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 and this kid gets this. And so they're at the end of all the awards, and I'm so embarrassed and I'm so upset that I haven't gotten an award yet. And I'm like, man, and so the whole time I thought I had a pretty good week. And so all of my friends, I'm a mess at this point. Like, I'm sitting next to my mother, and, it was just like one of those things. It was like, oh my gosh, can we just get out of here because I'm embarrassed, and just a bad day. But so they get to the MVP, and yours truly got the MVP of the whole stinking camp. There were like 300 kids at this camp. So when I say I had a good week and it was just a God timing issue, that's literally what it is.
So you were feeling sorry for yourself, were you?
I was embarrassed, totally feeling sorry for myself. Yeah, absolutely. It was awful.
Always save the best for last. You should know that.
Yeah, well, I didn't, maybe my self-confidence was not where it needed to be.
Well, so Furman recruited you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Furman was one of the schools that recruited me, and this is how much of a punk I was. And I loved Furman. Furman was beautiful, and I thought, there's no way, Furman is just, oh my gosh. It's one of those places that was like, I'm not going to fit in here. Like, this is crazy. But the coach came up to me in the middle of a scrimmage at camp, and she said, hey, kid, what's your GPA? And I'm getting my glove, and I'm about to run out to shortstop, and I turn around and I look at her and I say, not good enough to get in here, and turned around and ran off to shortstop.
Nice. And so she still came after you?
Honestly, I think that's what made her come after me a little bit harder.
Okay. What was your GPA then?
That's information we don't need to disclose.
Okay, so how did it go? How did she contact you again? Or
this was back in the day when it was handwritten letters. Right. I still have them. I mean, it was great. You actually every day I was checking the mailbox. That was no kid now understands what that's like because email and everybody is tweeting and Insta and all that kind of stuff. But back in the day when that mail ran, I was the first one at the mailbox going, did I get a letter today? So it was all handwritten letters, and then we set up the visit, and it came down between Furman and Winthrop. And Furman was so beautiful, and it was unlike anything I'd ever seen. So in my mind, it was like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
All right. So tell us about your college days then.
Oh, Lord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're going somewhere with this.
Okay. Man, college days.
Still a punk?
Oh yeah. But wearing purple, man, and feeling good in it too.
I'm gonna have you tell a story about purple later.
Who wears purple and feels good about it?
Who does? You'll find out.
Okay. All right.
The audience will find out who wears purple.
Oh, no.
Feels good about it.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah.
You know where I'm going with that?
Yes, I do. I'm nervous. College was great. College was a very fun experience, but I will say Furman, man, it was tough. Like I studied my rear end off for low C's.
Low C's and proud of it.
Low C, and everybody else in the class, they'd be like all ticked off if they got like an 89. They're like, what?
All right, be honest for a second now. Come on.
Yeah.
How did you get in there with your high school grades?
Honestly, the coach said that she got one freebie every year.
You were the freebie. Nice.
I was the one that the coach had to go to admissions and say, hey, it's like, let her in, and I'll make sure she stays on track.
Was she on you all the time?
Absolutely. Like, I think my first week there, one of the conversations, she, invited me in for a meeting, a one-on-one meeting in her office. And she said, look, you've got one job. And I'm eager freshman. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Give it to me. What is it? And she was like, you got to stay eligible. And, I'm a high school kid that doesn't, I was like, absolutely. Not even understanding what that really meant, Yeah. I'm eligible, baby. Yeah, exactly. So, but yes, I had lots of tutors, and I did. In high school, I had an okay GPA. It was my test scores that were keeping me out of Furman. So the SAT, that was just a nightmare. For a kid that had to study for A's and B's in high school, taking the SAT, it was like, and that was back then before you could hire an SAT tutor and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we were just stinking winging it, right? So the SAT was my nightmare. So my GPA was okay. I made A's and B's in high school. So not too bad.
So you went through college without Jesus, right?
Well, yes and no. So I accepted Jesus at 17. I had some high school buddies that kept inviting me to church. And I went to church and accepted Jesus when I was 17. Actually, one of my good friends from the softball team, she invited me to a Petra concert. I don't know if you even remember that group.
That's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. So I actually got saved at a Petra concert. So I'm 17 years old. And I knew something special was happening. I knew that it was a big decision and something, that was something that everybody was celebrating. I remember it was April. Her name is April Powell. It was April Tullis back then, but her brother, who is now with Jesus, he came in and he said, hey, heaven is celebrating right now because of the decision you made. And that has stuck with me ever since. But I knew Jesus, but I was definitely not surrendered. And there's a big, big difference.
And later, little did you know you were going to visit Petra someday.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah.
What kind of music were they hard rock?
It was like hard rock and roll. Like almost like think about 80s hair bands. Like that was
hard rock and roll about Jesus.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. Like Skillet?
Yes. Yes.
But that was even before, there was no like Christian radio stations.
Nah, the Christian music, forgive me, but it was terrible. It was awful.
It was mostly gospel.
It was, yeah. And I was a kid, back in the day, I'm listening to Janet Jackson, Mary J. Blige, like, Notorious. Come on, man. Like, yeah.
Good role models. Wonderful.
Right.
All the while.
Yeah.
Saying you're Christian, right?
Yeah. Well, hey, did I know Jesus? Yes. Yeah. Was I following him and surrendered to him? I didn't really understand that concept yet.
All right. So tell us what that was like in college, in your college days.
Oh,
so you were a Christian.
Yeah.
A Christian in quotes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You weren't baptized, were you? Submerged?
I was, and that was at the church that I went to while I was in high school. Shadowbrook Baptist, baby. So yes, I was baptized.
Shadowbrook Baptist. All right. So tell us what's going through. So you have the Holy Spirit. So what do you think the Holy Spirit's feeling during this time of your life while he's in Dana?
Oh my gosh! Honestly,
give me some of the things the Holy Spirit might have been saying. You didn't think
other than I was
a good question.
I know this is a good question. Other than I was a holy mess. Yeah, I think. We had this conversation as an FCA staff not too long ago, and the question was presented: can you disappoint God? And I said, I don't think you can disappoint God, but I do think that we can grieve God. I think the decisions that we make, I think it grieves him. I don't think disappointment almost sounds like he was surprised, but I think that I think he grieves over certain decisions. So at that point in my life, I feel like the Holy Spirit, like there was a lot of decisions I was making that I probably grieved God a lot. I mean, unfortunately, looking back on it, it's part of my growth story. So, it's nothing I can go back and change. But, I'm not sure I knew how to live it out though.
Can you I can picture the Holy Spirit with his arms crossed, tapping his toes.
Absolutely.
Shaking his head.
Yes.
What is she doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. That was probably, you nailed it right there. That was probably the very image.
So was there an event that changed all of that for you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But there was a lot of time in the middle. So from 17 until I was 36 years old, that is a long time to know Jesus and know about Jesus.
Yeah,
and there's
your life.
Yeah, there's ebbs and flows of when I feel like I'm really pursuing God and I'm on the mountaintop. And then there were times where it was like, I'm going to lead my life and I'm going to, it's all about me and I'm going to take care of number one, baby. So it was ebbs and flows. But at 36, my grandmother, who we were just incredibly close, she was my person. I called her Mama's. So at 36, my Mama's passed away. She had pancreatic cancer, but I got to physically be in the room when she passed. And I have never felt something as powerful as that. And that really, I felt like God was grabbing me, by the collar of my shirt going, hey, get it together. You're going to meet me one day. Get off the fence. And honestly, from that moment on, it was, okay, God, like I'm screwing this whole thing up. So I'm going to surrender to you. And I don't even know what this looks like, but I'm going to follow you and nothing else.
Yeah. So you were screwing it up for 17 years, 20 years almost?
Yeah. A long time. Absolutely. And the whole time I'm coaching athletes.
I was going to say you're coaching athletes.
Oh gosh. And God continued to give me influence. Why? I have no idea. I was a head coach for 3 years, my first head coaching job at Anderson University. And then I was a head coach at Furman University for 9 years and had influence there and for no good reason. I mean, it wasn't until my last 2 years at Furman that I really understood the platform that God had given me.
Mm-hmm. So how'd you get into coaching and why?
Oh,
Now, looking back on it today, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, honestly, I really thought I was going to graduate Furman and be a high school PE teacher and a coach because I thought, that's the stinking life.
Oh,
you get summers
right,
off, you get Christmas break. So that it wasn't because I wanted to be a teacher.
And you throw the ball at the kids and say, "Here, play dodgeball."
Right. You play dodgeball and you count me in.
Yeah. No exams.
Right.
No
right.
papers
So that
to
was
grade.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was the plan. But I had some other coaches kind of come alongside and say, look, if you're going to do that, why don't you get paid the most you can get paid? So go get your master's, and they said, if you don't get your master's now, you're not going to get out of school and ever going to want to go back. And so I took their advice and I went to Campbell University, up in Bowie's Creek. Yes.
Campbell's. Yeah.
Campbell's. And so I was the graduate assistant coach there for 2 years and got my master's and helped with the softball team. And that is where I thought, there's no way I could ever do this because this job is so neat and so ridiculously cool. And I mean, it was just like, holy cow, like this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's interesting how so many people want to do that, but then they get in it and it's not what you think it is.
It is lot.
Especially today.
Oh, absolutely. Today it is. I think it's probably harder to coach today, definitely than it was when I first got into it. And that was 1997. I mean, that's gosh, forever ago. But
I think today coaches have to do more off the field than on the field.
Yeah.
They have to be psychologists and psychiatrists and whatever else. I mean,
I definitely think you play a counselor role.
Counselor, that's a better word. Yeah.
Yeah. It's tough. Absolutely. And it's draining. But yeah, so that's why I got in. From that moment on, I left Campbell and I was the assistant coach at UNC Charlotte for 2 years and wanted to be at a bigger school. And so I was, the first assistant there and loved living in Charlotte, hated the traffic. And so after 2 years at Charlotte, I thought, it's time. I want to be a head coach.
Okay. So, oh gosh. Tell us how you convinced the AD at Furman to hire you. How old were you?
Oh, man. I think I was like 26, 27, something
Pretty
like that.
young to be a head coach at Division
I thought there was no way they were going to look at me.
All right, so how did you do it?
Well,
how did you pull this off?
I did have the whole I'm an alumni in my back pocket.
Alumni.
I did
you probably
have that.
wore purple.
I wore a
dress.
purple dress suit to the interview.
Did you really?
No.
Oh. I could see you doing that.
Oh man. But here's how it went down. So the head coach at Furman at the time, I had played for her 1 year. The coach that recruited me and coached me for 3 years, she left to take the University of Georgia job. And so my senior year, I had a brand new coach. So at this point, it's been years. And so this coach she calls me out of the blue and says, hey, go ahead and put your name in the hat. I'm retiring. I'm getting out of coaching. And they're looking at a couple people, but I told them, hey, I mean, you're it. Like, go ahead and put your name in the hat. And I was like, what? I was like, there's no way. Like, this is amazing. So I did. I put my resume in and got a call back and went on an interview. And I was actually up north working the Fairfield University camp when I got the call that I got the job. And I can still to this day remember calling my father. And he was so excited. I mean, he was just like, Dan, this is so great. He was like, I can't believe it. This is awesome. And, I mean, it was a really cool day. So
I was just thinking you were being recruited by Georgia Tech, right? The whole team? Is that what you said?
Georgia State.
Oh, Georgia
State.
Okay.
If I didn't have the grace to get in Furman, I definitely didn't have.
Do you think your dad would have let you go to Georgia Tech?
I don't know. I mean, Georgia
Yellow
Tech's
Jacket?
a great school.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great school. But, my dad, he's a salesman and he knows people well. And I think he just wanted me to not be in the middle of downtown Atlanta.
I was just thinking the whole Bulldog Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
thing.
Oh, that would have been an issue for sure.
Okay, so you get the job. You're excited.
Yes.
You're a young coach. You're excited.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, that goes away after a while. But so tell us about all right, so what's it like at the first practice when you first get all these kids together?
Oh, man. I was an old school coach on roids. For some of you young kids that don't know what old school coaching means, So, we were playing, when I was a player at Furman, we were actually competing against Florida State, and we were not hitting well. So my coach goes in the dugout, grabs all the bats, and starts slinging them one by one on the field. I mean, just making a scene, So when I say old school coaching, like there was one time I was hanging out with my buddies that were at Georgia State. We were at the same tournament together. We were staying in the same hotel, and I didn't realize I had missed curfew. Well, my coach
didn't realize it?
Well, I mean, that's a story I'm gonna.
Okay, we're gonna leave that alone. All right.
But I had
no cell phones to tell you.
That's right. Okay, you get it. So I'd missed curfew, and literally my coach comes in her nightgown. Like, she's wearing a nightgown. But I'm still scared to death of her because she comes and grabs me by the collar of my shirt and physically pushes me against the door. Like, manhandles me at this point. And so that's old school coaching. You could do that. And there was, at no point did I ever think about going to the AD about that, because I thought, if this is what she does and she likes me, what's she going to do when she doesn't like me?
Yeah, I don't think many players today can handle that.
No. You had to have some tough skin. No, it was...
back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So this is where you got your coaching style from?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. I'm afraid to ask. So you meet the kids for the first time. And you still had a chip on your shoulder.
Well, at this point, the chip was more about, I wanted to bring Furman back to the quote unquote glory days. Like I was, obviously I'm a Furman alumni, so I want to come back. And when I played, we did really well. We had 40-win seasons, and we just the coach did a really good job recruiting studs. So, I played with some really just top-notch players. And so I as an alumni, I wanted to come back and say, okay, well, let's bring it back to the glory days. So I had a chip on my shoulder in the way of, I'm going to bring Furman back, baby. And let me tell you, that's a dangerous road, because my self-worth got so wrapped up in the wins and the losses, and we didn't win a whole lot the first several years I was there. We didn't win a whole lot. I mean, we had some good seasons. We broke a lot of records. I coached the first softball team ever there to go to the regionals. We played University of Tennessee. Our kids got to hit against Monica Abbott. Very cool stuff, but it didn't start out that way.
Okay. I was just trying to picture you at the first team meeting. Did somebody introduce you, or you just introduced?
No, I came in like a tornado.
You wearing purple?
I can't, honestly, probably. And
Is that all you had in your closet for 9 years?
For a long time. For 9 years, it was purple and
you
black.
You might as well tell the story.
You're going to make me tell this story.
Of course. You tell it at the convention.
I do. I've told this story. So for those of you that don't know, Furman University it's purple and black, but it's an obnoxious dark grape colored purple.
What's their mascot?
The Paladin.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a Christian knight.
Nice.
So
well, that's something new. I didn't know Furman was Christian.
Well, they've stepped away from it a little bit.
Okay.
But
most Christian schools have.
Right.
Another story.
Yeah, definitely another episode. Definitely. But real quick, just because this story is really stupid.
The story is funny though. Come on.
Oh my! So
you can picture it.
I can't. I mean, yeah. So as a young coach at Furman University, but that was back in the day when we wore like full windsuits. Like it was. You remember the windsuits?
Had a match.
Yeah, and you had to wear the top with the bottom, and so I had
colors.
Yes.
Same
color,
man.
Yeah. So I had this all purple windsuit, and I can remember.
Adidas?
I was trying to think. It might have been.
Starter or something like that.
Yeah, it might have been even something crazy like Umbro.
Oh.
You remember Umbro?
Yeah, more soccer stuff.
I don't know.
You softball players wearing soccer.
Well, they had an Umbro outlet in Greenville, so there was we'd go through there pretty often. But Yeah. So
Oh, you bought your own stuff.
Oh,
The
yeah.
school didn't supply this stuff?
Oh, no. That was not until later.
Oh,
no.
I got it.
No.
now. Oh, this is even funnier. You went around looking for purple clothes. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and was kind of offended when people didn't have like a full purple ensemble.
Ensemble. I don't even think. That's the last time you even wore purple, because nobody wears purple.
Ooh, I haven't worn purple in a long time. A long time. It's been a hot minute.
All right, we got to get you back in the mirror. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is this is pregame. I can vividly remember getting dressed up in my purple windsuit. Hello. And standing in front of the mirror and kind of checking myself out and going, dang, I look good. We're going to freaking win today.
Because you look good, the team's going to win.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. This is cool. Beautiful. And you had assistant coaches?
Yes,
Okay.
I did. I've
Like
had some really great assistant coaches.
Did they wear purple too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was, yeah, you can't have the head coach all donned in purple.
Did you all look at it in the mirror together?
No, it was just me. It was just me.
There was no selfies back then either.
Nope.
So we have no proof of any of
That's
this.
right. That's right. Thank goodness.
Yeah, you want to keep it that way.
Thank goodness. Yes.
Purple.
Oh,
Even in it's 85 degrees in Greenville and you're wearing purple windsuit.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter because you look good.
Didn't matter. If I looked good, we were going to
You
win.
had a hat too?
Oh, yeah. One of those big khaki floppy hats, made me look like I still wear a big hat, but I feel like it makes me look more like a cowboy now instead of a doofus. So that's what I'm telling myself anyway.
So, all right. So you coached with Jesus in your life for 2 years. So you had many more years without Christ as your guide, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what was it like? Give us the contrast of the two.
Oh my gosh. Every part of what I did change. My language, it was a big one.
You had bad language?
Oh man. Unfortunately, yes. I can remember, I used to take the team when they would play poorly. I would take them all the way down to the warning track, so I knew it because I was going to yell at them.
They knew that was coming. Huh?
They knew it was coming. And this was not hey, you guys have got it. Hang in there. I mean, it was, I'm not living for Jesus, and I'm not proud of any of these talks. It was terrible. There's no doubt in my mind I embarrassed my family. I embarrassed the school. I'm sure I embarrassed the kids. I mean, it was terrible. It was a train wreck. But that's what you do when you're not surrendered to Jesus. You're a train wreck. You're a mess, and that's what I was. But it changed my language. It changed how I looked at the kids. It changed why I was coaching. Like I had a different perspective on why I was there. It was no longer about softball. It was about the kids that God was giving me, and so it was a 180. It was a complete 180. And
if you had not really, if Jesus hadn't grabbed your heart that day, what'd you call your grandma again?
Mama's.
If you didn't experience that, and we fast forward to 2022, you probably don't realize how poorly you acted, because the Holy Spirit does that, right? The Holy Spirit convicts you, right? So he convicted you. He's convicted you now, or in the last whatever years, that you acted poorly, and it happened to me too, because I used to be such a jerk to umpires, and I thought it was cool to do that,
Yeah.
But it was not cool at all, and now I feel terrible about it, and there's really nothing you can do about it. But so now how you acted then was pretty poor. But if you don't have Jesus now, you probably don't even think about it, right? How many coaches go through their whole career without Christ, acting the way you acted, and still today, after they retired, they don't think it was poor or inappropriate, because I've seen it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
We see it every day in coaching. So.
And I think, playing in both of those roles, playing a coach before I was surrendered to Jesus and playing a coach after I've been fully surrendered to Jesus, I think that's why now coaches are, they pull on my heartstrings. I want to minister to them. I mean, I love the kids. But the coaches, there's just something about, because I see coaches that you're thinking, man, they don't have Jesus, and I know it could change everything for them because I've been in their shoes. And so that's part of my, I think, God used all of that for me to love coaches the way that I do, and try and, because it's one thing to tell a coach, hey, you can do better, and you need to change how you talk and this and that. But I never took that well, coming from a person that didn't understand me, coming from a person that hadn't been in my shoes. I kind of wanted to look at them and be like, well, why don't you keep your opinions to yourself?
Yeah, it's that chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, it is. A crazy chip.
That chip. Good thing Jesus filled that chip in.
Oh man, Jesus knocked that chip off. And, it's part of my flesh. I still, every once in a while when something doesn't go my way, I can still kind of feel that, man, like that little chip on my shoulder, as far as like, we always wonder, well, why don't things work out for me? And why didn't that happen for me the way it happened for them? And, but at this point, God has been so good to me. There is absolutely no reason for me to have a chip on my shoulder. Yeah. Just grateful.
He's been good to you.
Oh gosh.
You met me and Dot.
That's right. Did I
say that right? Dot and I. What's the proper English on that?
I think it's Dot and I. But I don't know. I just have a Furman degree, so.
Yeah, that's a pretty prestigious degree.
It is.
All of that. It's amazing. All of that. And now you're in ministry. And you didn't need a degree for that. Think about that.
Nope, not at all. And the crazy thing is, just again, the name of this podcast, All Jacked Up, I firmly 100% believe that I am in full-time ministry because I'm all jacked up. There's
I can attest, folks. She is all jacked up.
There's no doubt in my mind.
There's nothing.
So, yeah.
So, all right. So, your coaching career ended abruptly, not the way you thought it would end. We don't have to go into
another episode.
That's another episode. There's another episode, too. I was thinking about how coaches today, and this might offend some people, but don't really care. Coaches that say they're Christian, and then they're cursing their players out and the umpires out. Some of them.
Absolutely.
We've all seen it. And
but the Bible tells us we'll know a fruit by its tree.
Exactly.
Know a tree by its fruit. Right. Know a fruit by a tree.
I think some people like to pretend they're Christian, but that's a whole nother story. So, okay, let's get into the best part. So your career ended abruptly.
And God used
Lana
it.
Mackey.
Oh, Lana Mackey.
She's amazing.
She's Lana Sullivan now.
Married?
And,
How many
married.
kids?
And I think she's got like 15 kids.
15, beautiful. Okay. So.
Yeah, so Lana
give us that story quick, and then we'll wrap it up.
Lana called me out of the blue and said, hey, Coach, I want to introduce you to somebody. And, she told me who you were, Bob Pinto. And she said, listen, he runs FCA Softball. And I thought, whoa, I didn't even know there was an FCA Softball. I've known FCA and was very familiar with that.
Very young at that time.
Yeah, recently started. And so I had a conversation with you because of Lana Mackey, who is now Lana Sullivan. So had a conversation with you, and it was, will you agree, a complete, total God thing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you. I didn't even vet you, really. Honestly, I didn't know.
Well,
I just went by Lana, said you're awesome. So, but I heard that's another story. You and Lana had your run-ins too when you coached her.
Absolutely. I can look back on some of my interactions with Lana as a player. And again, this is me before being surrendered to Jesus. And I am, oh my gosh, there's certain things that I've done that I'm just mortified. Mm-hmm. There's certain things I've said to kids that I'm like, holy cow, that just, it honestly, it tears my heart up.
Yeah. I 100% agree. I did it too. So
yeah.
I look back and I'm like, man, I can't believe I said that.
Yeah.
It's, but that's what they say. The tongue, it's the worst, the littlest organ, and it's causes the most damage. So we can have another episode on our phone conversations. About, right?
Yes.
You were always looking for answers. And I'm like, we'll see what happens. But FCA, now FCA has a process.
Yes.
And it's not a short process.
It's not. It is not a short process.
This vetting thing and
That's
everything.
right.
Make sure you're meant to be in ministry. So Dot and I ran FCA Softball. There's another podcast about how we got the job here at Liberty, which is really a God thing. And then we just asked you to take over, and you took over FCA Softball, and the rest is history. It's been, 10 years now that you've been on staff?
About 9, yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, because we've been at Liberty for 9.
Yeah.
But I think you were on staff at least a year before that, right?
Yes. It was
so it's
when you
probably
guys
10 years.
handed the ministry off to me, I think I had been on staff for like a year and 4 months or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was because I can remember having a conversation with you going, you were like, hey, we want you to take over and run the ministry. God's called us to coach up here at Liberty. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, that's way too big. Like, I don't want to mess it up. And because you had done such a great job of getting the right people in place and God was really moving. And I felt overwhelmed. So for anybody out there that feels like you are taking on too big of a task, as long as you've got Jesus, hey, because it was definitely too big of a task for me, but there's no doubt in my mind that God had ordained that. So it was part of his plan.
I think we're going to have a part 2.
I'm down with it.
Talk about FCA Softball. I do have 2 questions. Maybe I'll leave your worst dating experience for another time.
Oh yeah, that's got to be a whole that's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, because you have worst is dating experience.
Right. I have
Plural, right?
I have bad, terrible, and worst. I have all of those.
Some of them are hysterical, though. Only can happen to you. I think God's showing you.
I think God
is,
God has a great
this
sense
is your
of humor.
punishment.
Remember all those times you were a punk?
You want to see a chip on your shoulder?
Yeah.
All right, so all jacked up. Tell us, Dana, why are you all jacked up?
Man, because God has done an amazing work in my life. There's literally no other way to say it. God pursued me, and the fact that God pursued a messed up, jacked up person like me, it is by far the most humbling thing that has ever happened to me. So, and at this point, God he's been pursuing me for so long. He pursues all of us, our entire lives. Like, that's the whole reason we're here. We were designed to have a relationship with our Creator. So to know that the Creator of the universe pursued me of all people, like all jacked up Jenkins, like all jacked up.
I like that. All jacked up.
I feel like that
Jenkins.
should go on a shirt or something. Is that, yeah, we'd have
Purple. With black writing.
Yeah. But honestly,
I can picture it.
just the fact that Jesus pursued me, man, I want to honor him, and I want to pursue him the rest of my life here on earth, and can't wait to be in heaven.
That's awesome. And if you want to pre-order your all jacked up Jenkins shirt, we'll have them.
Oh my
But there you have it,
gosh.
Dana Jenkins, your amazing host. Now you know a little more about her.
Well, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you being here. And hey, guys, we hope you guys have a great week, and I hope you spend the week all jacked up.